Oh, good. Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers from London. Cool. Alrighty. Welcome to Kevjet the podcast. Social media sensations. Bee and Lin.
Hi. Hey. Happy to be here.
Welcome. I've been so excited about this. And I was just saying to you before we hit record, it seems like it seems like I know you, but not only that, every time I see you, you're sat in that same spot.
These are our assigned seats.
It's funny because we actually had our local paper. If you hear my jokes, sometimes I will reference Cape Gazette.
That's
There
right.
really is a paper called the Cape Gazette, and they did contact us and did an article about us, and we had to sit here with photos so they could see where the magic happened.
And do you find that people are reaching out more and more now?
Oh, yeah. There are very few places we could show up at, and you could see their faces, and it's like, oh no, I think they know who we are. And they'll come up, they're nervous to come up, and, finally we say, we're just real people, just like you. So, yeah, it's fun. It's fun to hear their comments.
I bet, because you guys bring so much joy into the world, not just into an individual's life, but the whole world is watching you. Does that make you feel weird, or does it make you feel, is there any type of sort of stress with that?
I wouldn't call it
So-
stress, but it's daunting to realize that when people comment on some of our videos and they're all over the world, and I sit and I say, gosh, what a reach social media has become. It's a little overwhelming at times to realize people need laughter everywhere.
It's true.
Bottom line, people need laughter no matter where they are. Somebody's carrying something that they just need a little break. So it kind of makes us feel good.
Laughter is the best medicine.
Yeah.
That's
we don't
right.
feel stressed about it. We're pretty much impressed that people from all over the world are watching this.
Yeah. The whole point of this conversation is to maybe get my listeners, your viewers, to get to know you a little bit better. And I'm looking forward to this because I'm curious and I have so many questions.
What will you wish for?
You'll never know what you ask.
I guess my first question is sort of, how did you guys meet?
You want me to start? You start.
You can start.
Okay. I owned an advertising specialty company years ago, and Lynn had to
create a campus store at the high school where I worked.
Okay.
And there was an article about me in the paper one day, and she saw that and said, oh, well, I want to support a woman-owned business, and contacted me about getting all of these spirit items, if you will, for her campus store for the high school. And we communicated for months, never met, only through email and I guess texting a little bit because you were living at the
shore,
the Jersey Shore for the summers where she was with her kids. And so we just did the work. I did all of the layouts and got all of the products ordered for her, and then went and delivered them to her, I guess, in the September time frame.
Started.
Met for the first time.
Right.
And there was a nice banter between us, even in emails, because I just joke. I am who I am, and I can't be serious, so don't sit near me in the funeral because you don't know what will happen. And so we became friends, just literally through business transaction, hit it off as friends. And we were friends for a year and a half or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then things went a little differently than either one of us anticipated.
Yeah.
And got together, I guess. I don't know how we go through that piece of it. This may be parts of editing. That's good.
But that's 21 years ago, isn't it?
Correct. It was actually 22 years ago we met.
2000. We met in 2003. And then in 2004.
Late 2004, we got together. Almost
Right.
2005, actually. Yeah, it was very late.
We became best friends first.
Right away.
And B,
yes, literally.
And B at some point shared that she had feelings for me. And neither one of us ever thought we were gay.
Right.
I dated her my whole life. She was married for 23 years. And it was one of those things that I got physically ill.
Really?
When I started, I had rumblings down under, as we call it.
Yeah.
And like, oh my gosh, I backed away from her. I didn't want to talk to her. And she kept pushing at the Italian person that she is. And said, no, talk to me. Nothing can scare me. What's going on?
Yeah.
And I apologize if I did something to offend you. And I said, no, something's going on and this is not right. and finally shared with her that there was something going on and I had more than just friendship feelings for her.
Sure.
And then that
Took me by surprise.
Yeah.
Took me
Shocked.
by
I think
surprise. Yeah.
she's like, nothing could shock me. And I shocked her.
Yeah. But then I guess that would have shocked your families as well.
Yes.
Mhm.
Very much so.
I have 3 grown children. So it was a little bit hard for them when we finally spoke to them and let
Sure.
them know what was happening. I had 2 in college and 1 a junior in high school. So yeah, it was a little bit tough on them initially, but they knew Bee as my best friend and they already loved her. But you're hard pressed to change your feelings because we fell in love with the essence of each other.
That's right. And they would have seen how happy the two of you are together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's one of those where telling all of our families, both of my parents were alive at the time, your dad was alive at the time, and everybody could see it and welcome it in a sense. And because I was always, in essence, married to my jobs. I worked for IBM for many years. I owned businesses. And so I was always married to work and had committed at some point I'm going to finally meet the man of my dreams, and was on all these dating sites to meet men. And then I meet this one and realize maybe
That's
this
it.
is why I have not ever committed and said I want to marry that person.
That's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
I love
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you for sharing
So
that.
many people said, oh, you won't last because you've never been with anybody else. And we're like, okay, we were in our late 40s when this all happened. And we said, we're not teenagers, we're not 20 somethings. We kind of know that what we're feeling is in fact true and authentic.
Yeah.
And we've never looked back.
I love that.
We have
That's
a lot of support. We have everybody really supports us. And I come from a very traditional Italian family. So I was pretty nervous about telling my 75-year-old father,
of course.
who was very Italian, who already loved Bee anyway. He loved her. But when I told him, here was his comment. When I kind of explained how, I love Bee, and he said, I love Bee too. And I said, no, I love Bee. Yeah. So I finally said to him, we're a couple, Dad. And he said, and he wanted to know if my kids were okay with it.
Right.
And I said, they are. And he said, well, you know what? That's just nature. Anybody gives you a hard time, you have them see me. So from then on, I just thought, wow, if my father could handle this, anybody can.
Yeah. And it's such a tough thing to do no matter what age, I think. Like for myself, I think I was 21, and like that was so difficult from a French Catholic family. And it wasn't so much my parents, it was like my grandparents that I was worried about. And you just think of the older generation. And again, with me, it was just all love. So it's just an amazing thing.
Truly, we were both welcomed in each other's families. And it's one of those where we didn't have to struggle, right? Once we knew what was going on, and we truly do believe we just fell in love with the essence of each other, and the packaging is just different than what people would expect.
That's right.
Because there's never been any other times I could look and say, oh, I'm attracted to that woman or whatever.
Yeah.
Neither one of it was just that particular person. It was destiny. It was meant to be. We were brought together when we were supposed to be brought together. Couldn't have happened any sooner. And it just progressed as it would logically progress in any other relationship.
Exactly. Love is love.
It is.
Yes, it is.
It is. And it's a good thing to see.
It is. And I guess your sense of humor was part of the attraction.
Oh my God, yes. Through all the emails initially when we didn't even meet each other and she was filling the order for this campus store, all of this came through in her emails or text messages. And I thought, oh my gosh, someday she's going to be my best friend. And once I met her, I'm like, yeah, we're definitely going to be friends. Yeah, definitely an attraction.
I've always kind of been a classical hound.
Yeah.
I love that. That's
From the
beautiful.
middle of 5. So I guess that was my way of getting attention.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you found success somewhere. I can tell you that. I think the whole picture is just, you guys are living your best lives.
We are. We're living the dream. That's how we feel.
I have friends here from Canada who are visiting this week. And one of my friends said to me, my gosh, these ladies are living their best lives. Like they are the happiest people. I love their energy. And she just kept going on. And I was like, I know. And I'm going to speak to them later.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just great. I've loved sharing your social media. And it does bring joy. And recently I had a hospital stay and I was sharing your accounts with everybody that I met in the hospital and everybody was laughing and it was great. Yeah.
Good.
We do believe it's, you coined the phrase not long ago when she said we, we've always done this. We've always done videos when we would do road trips and I would always get her laughing while we're in the car doing whatever. And just recently she coined the phrase that I feel like we now have a ministry where people now are looking for that few minutes each day to take them away from whatever they're carrying, whatever they're dealing with. There have been times where I literally will get into tears with some of the comments because people say, you have no idea what you just did for me. I say, I'm going to get emotional just thinking about it. When they came from the doctor or they lost somebody or whatever it is and said, you have no idea. I haven't laughed in weeks. I haven't smiled. You just did that for me.
Yeah.
And that's what brings us joy is knowing we're touching people in a very special way.
And you really are. You really are. It's really beautiful. And I have to say, like some of my favorite videos, you don't even get to speak because you're both laughing so hard. So we don't even know what the joke was about.
Neither do I.
Well, some people finally said, can you put captions? Because you're laughing so hard, we don't know what you're saying. And we have to listen to it how many times? Or they're watching it in bed with their spouse next to them and they don't want to wake them up. So they read the captions and I talk fast. So it's one of those where I started trying to do the captions now to help people through them.
Well, between your talking fast, you also have that wheezy laugh that people find very contagious.
The one that I show everybody, and this is how I introduce you, is you guys, I think, are in a pub or a restaurant and you're saying, well, have you? Did you? Have you? That's my favorite. And so my question is, did you?
She did not.
I did not. And we will share it. And so many people say, we have to know. What did it? What are we missing? What's the first part of this whole thing?
Can't share it.
I can share it with you and you can choose to do with it as you please. We were in, I think, the Grand Canyon. Were we?
Yeah.
In a restaurant
out west.
And we had something for dinner and whatever I ordered just did not taste good. It just didn't taste good. And did I tell you to taste it or something?
Well, I said, why do you want me to taste it? I just want you to taste it. I said, no, why aren't you eating it? I'm not going to taste it. I'm not Mikey. Mikey likes it.
And
right?
so she said, what's wrong with it? And I said, it tastes like ass.
That's when I said, what?
You tasted
ass? Like, did you? And then that was the end of it. I just could not get past it. That would have been a big deal breaker.
And I don't know where that came from. I have no idea why I said that. But she's like, wait, what?
We lost it.
Have you? Did you?
That's my favorite video. That's how I introduce you to the world. And now that I know the story.
Now you know the backstory.
Literally.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I love that. That's hilarious. I'm so glad I asked.
To say I didn't taste her meal. I had no desire.
So we fast forward to a few years later, and you guys have been married for 12 years now.
Yes. We got married in 2013 in Pennsylvania where we lived and had the big blown out ceremony, 175 people, country club. My mom was there. Your dad was still alive. It was a beautiful scenario, but it wasn't legal federally yet. Got legally married on the same day in 2014. So we only have one anniversary. So many of us have the civil union and the domestic partnership and this, and we have one anniversary on the same exact day that we got married.
That's nice.
And it was really wonderful. Absolutely. Beautiful ceremony.
Wow. And you haven't looked back?
No, not once.
And now have 4 grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We're really blessed.
Yeah.
Really are.
And you're always traveling. You're always traveling.
So here's the idea. I had gotten cancer in 2017. And once I recovered from that in 2018, we both looked at each other and said, we need to live every moment because you never know what tomorrow's going to bring.
Yep.
Well, if we can afford it, let's just travel and do what we can do while we have our youth right? I mean, even in our 50s and 60s, and we have our energy and we have good health. And that's why we are traveling as much as we can.
That's great. I
We
love
are.
that
We love it.
attitude. And you're living life to the fullest. You definitely are doing that. And you're sharing it with everybody,
Yeah.
which I love as well.
Somebody once told us in your 50s, it's go go. No, 60s. 60s is go go, 70s is slow go, and 80s is no go. So we keep telling our financial advisor, Kyle, relax. We're going to slow down at some point. And he's like, you are not. He said, you two are going to be going forever because Lynn just turned 70 last year. I will be 70 next year. This year you turned 70. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
And then next year I'll turn 70. And we like to travel internationally. We like to travel domestically. And like Lynn said, at some point, we may not physically be able to continue to travel internationally and with all of the cobblestone roads
course.
and things. So that's why we're doing it now while
Yeah.
we are able.
Wow.
And you're not guaranteed tomorrow.
That's
It was
right.
a pretty big scare for her. And
Of course.
so we're taking advantage of the opportunities we have.
When was the first time you thought, I'm going to post this video? And do you remember what the video was?
Oh, yeah.
The
one that went viral.
Well, no, but first what happened is we retired. We were fortunate to be able to retire in 2014. And we were in our late 50s. So we really were, again, very blessed. And we would do road trips. And I would videotape me aggravating Lynn or doing whatever to occupy her time. And then I would post them on Facebook. And my great nephew, Scotty, one time told my older sister, Barb, Nanny, Aunt B needs to post those somewhere so people can see them whenever they want versus just having to go look. So I started putting them on YouTube and just as a repository. And then something happened and somebody said, well, you should put things on TikTok. And then somebody said, well, no, you should put them on Instagram. So I just started putting them all out there. But the one video that you're going to reference is in 2020, we were in the Finger Lakes, New York. And we went to a bunch of wine tastings every day. And there was, I think it was the third wine tasting of the day.
Wasted.
That I did this whole big shtick with her where we both lost it. And I posted that one on TikTok and we got contacted by friends saying, you're trending on TikTok. And we're like, what are you talking about? And they said, you are trending, not just going viral. It got 10 million views of us laughing so hard about my Australian friend and the didgeridoo. That's the video that went crazy. And that's when I guess what, in a sense, put us on the map where people were like, this is, you got to watch this. These ladies, you can't not laugh with them.
Exactly.
In this video.
Exactly.
So just decided to just keep putting the videos out there because of the comments and responses we've gotten about how much people enjoy.
My next question, of course. My next question is, how authentic are they? Does she really surprise you, Lynn?
My God, I never, ever know when it's coming. And sometimes if she gets real close, I'm like, what's happening? And then she'll say, no, I can't see what you're looking at. And that's true. She can't see because she's far away. But basically, she always leaves this little tripod on the counter. But sometimes we videotape things that we're cooking or whatever, just so we remember. And she has this remote that I have no idea where she keeps it. So I never really know when it's coming.
Danger.
So what happens, like she said, it's always there. My phone is always there. And what people say is, how is Lynn not huge? Because she's always eating.
It's always doing
And it's like, y'all, this is 2 minutes out of the day. And it's either breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So I only catch her typically once a day if we're at the counter, the counter comedy. And so we will have a normal conversation. And there are times I will use the same intro so she doesn't know. She'll look up and it's not recording because I say, hey, Lynn. And she's like, oh, okay, it's not recording. Now I can have a conversation with you. So I do try to surprise her or in the car or out in the 3-season room, anywhere. I just literally, I do not leave home without my little.
I loved your little video the other night with your stand-in man who kept walking past.
We had a guest appearance and he had no clue.
Oh my God.
And then even funnier was the fact that the closed captioning caught him saying, I got a guy in Philly, right? It was hysterical. And we called that one, I think, street comedy. We had just come out of dinner.
I love that.
And I just grabbed her. So in that case, I grabbed her and said, okay, I want to do something before we even knew that gentleman was going to continue to walk past. And then there was another couple that passed us and we just get giddy.
It's
and
hilarious.
People said, how many drinks did y'all have? And we truly, neither one of us had one drink that night. Just get giddy over the silliest things.
I've got a list of questions and I'm just going to run through them because I was really thinking long and hard about this conversation because I wanted to get your story right. And I want to share because so many people ask so many questions and I say, I don't know, but I'm going to ask them.
Actually, ask anything.
As people were asking me, I was writing them down. So they come from everywhere. They come from strangers who I met in the hospital to my mother who lives in Canada.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I just thought we'd go with it. So let's go with, when you look back at your first years together, what makes you laugh the hardest now?
I would say some of the shenanigans. It would surprise her at times with different things that she wasn't aware of, whether it was scheduling trips or whether it was just telling her jokes offhandedly that she wasn't even aware was going to happen, I guess. And then the road trips where she was not raised with road trips. I'm one of 5. We couldn't afford to fly 7 people anywhere to go anywhere. So everything we did was road trips.
Sure.
And when I first approached her and said, we're going to do some road trips across the country and do things, she's looking at me like I have 2 heads. And I said, trust me, I will make it fun for you. And so again, I brought a little old-fashioned DVD player that she could put in the car, gave her popcorn and set her up. And then I would do silly jokes with her all the time. And so many of our original videos were in the car, joking. And I guess that's some of my favorite memories of laughing as much as we do, because we would get tickled to where I would be crying as I'm driving, saying, oh my God, I got to pull over or something because we're going to get into an accident, right? What would you say?
No, I agree with everything you just said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the silliest argument you've ever had that somehow turned into a deep talk about life?
Oh, that's a good question.
To think about that a second.
Believe it or not, and this is going to be stereotypical, the most arguments we ever have back, and actually it was back in the day, not currently, was like finances and kids, right? And me, I never had children.
Yeah.
So there were times when we would have some pretty deep discussions because I would come at things through my head. She would come at things through her heart and trying to reconcile that there's a balance there that needs to occur. So it's like any other couple. We typically would have deep, dark discussions about how to handle situations with kids that maybe she didn't think of from intellectually and I didn't think of emotionally, and to meld those together to where it became a beautiful thing to handle a situation with one of the kids.
And there were tough moments, pretty protective because they're my kids.
Of course.
But yeah, having that open mind and being willing to listen to what Bee thinks is a good thing. And I have to tell you, I have one daughter that, she wants advice. She doesn't call me, she calls Bee. So it's kind of a great thing that we got to that point where it's not an issue anymore.
Right.
I mean, the kids are older now, but back then it was a little bit tough.
Yeah, but there's no real one situation about a deep, dark discussion about life. Although, again, with her cancer scare, because when we moved to Delaware from Pennsylvania when we retired to live near the beach, because that was one of Lin's dreams, and I was very happy to do that. And then within 6 months, 8 months, you got diagnosed with cancer. Yeah. So that became a very deep discussion of, here we go. When she was saying, why now? We just moved here. And the why now became because of the people that are in this community and how everybody rallied together and all that our neighbors did for us while we were going through her treatment, and then came home. And so the deep, dark discussion was, again, about travel, about life is short. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. Take advantage of everything we can do right now while we are able to.
How did you keep your sense of humor during that time?
I really didn't have much of a sense of humor. It was a tonsil cancer. So when you have head and neck cancer, they have to create a very form-fitted mask for radiation where you're bolted to the table. That was pretty barbaric to me. But, 30 Monday to Friday for 35 treatments and chemo in between, it was rough. So I have to be honest, I really wasn't, I didn't have my sense of humor at all through those 2 months of treatments.
And
And,
B,
if I didn't have her,
yeah.
I would have gotten through it. I would never gotten through the treatment.
How did you get through that, B?
Well, I had a clown nose. You know
You
how
know what? That doesn't surprise me.
She still has it.
when you know how they have people who come in to treatment areas in hospitals and are dressed as clowns and try to give people again a little bit of relief or whatever. Once the one guy came in, I then started dressing at times like a clown or whatever and would interact with the clown people in the treatment area and try to again bring a little bit of laughter and relief to people who were in the room. She had to kind of tell me sometimes, not so loud.
In the chemo infusion room, not so loud, but that's where I started to have a little more sense of humor when I saw her getting into it more and,
Sure.
Trying to make people feel more comfortable. But it was a rough run.
And that's
Yeah.
probably how I got through it.
I was going to ask that,
because
but
I had to be, like she said, her rock. It was interesting. I felt like I did not breathe for the entire time she was going through the process. And it wasn't until months later when we got back to Delaware, we were out somewhere meeting friends and somebody said, "Oh my God, Lynn, it's so good to see you and happy that you're back," and through all that. And I looked at that person and I just lost it. I just burst into tears and I said, "Oh my gosh, that's the first time I ever allowed myself to realize the severity of what she went through, the process, and watching her go through all of that. And then finally felt like I was breathing again for the first time because my goal was nothing but to get her through each and every day." And that's what I told her. I said, we were going to mark on a calendar. You know how people mark on the calendar when things are going through? And somebody that was a mentor to her who had been through the treatment prior said, "Do not do that because you'll always have more in front of you than you have behind you." And so that's a little daunting. So instead, all I ever told her was, "Lynn, our goal today is to get through today. I don't want anything else from you but to get through this day."
yeah.
And when we would tomorrow, we're going to do the same thing. And we took day by day by day. And funny story, truly funny story now, driving her to treatment one day, our car breaks down. Our car breaks down. We pull over on the street in Philadelphia. I have her on a stoop holding her tea and her pillow because it was both radiation and chemo day. The Wednesdays were chemo days. I had to call an Uber to get us to the hospital. I picked the wrong Uber option and it was a party Uber where he could get other people. And I'm trying to help this gentleman understand. You don't understand. We have got to get to the hospital.
He was a heavy accent.
Yes, heavy accent. And I'm like, "Oh, please, I'll pay you more. I'll do whatever. You can't do this."
So that I found comical. That was comical to me.
And I took pictures of her sitting on the stoop. And it's like, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. So that was fortunately, we got to the hospital in time for her treatments and things. But it was, again, one of those we had to laugh at the moment.
Exactly.
And realize this, too, was going to be one of those we could look back on it.
And also, we did not live close to where I was treated. We lived 2 hours away. So we actually lived in a place called Hope Lodge, which allows you to stay there if you're being treated at one of the area hospitals.
Yeah.
So that our home for 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah, that was not easy either.
Right.
But we were grateful for that opportunity.
What's one thing that still surprises you about each other?
Well, her energy level always surprises me. I could be dead as a doornail and she still, I always say, you have way too much serotonin. Like, I need some. She's always happy. This is what you see. This is what you get. And that's not me. Like, I have moments that I'm not so happy, but she finds the happiness in everything. So I really have learned that from her.
And for me, believe it or not, and everybody laughs when I say this, I'm shy.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Okay. And then they said, "No, but you're not shy, you're introverted."
Yeah, okay.
And what I mean by that is Lynn is our social calendar. She's the social director in our relationship. I will have to look at my phone to see where we're going, who's doing what, because she will always be the one to reach out to other people. And she is, as much as I was her caregiver when she was going through her journey, she is such a caregiver in a sense to anybody she knows. She will always take the time to reach out to neighbors, to friends, to people. And she's the social animal. And I really, if I'm home doing a puzzle, I'm happy as a lark. Or if I'm watching sports on TV, I'm happy. But she's the social dynamic in our relationship that again makes it meld because I wouldn't be seeing anybody. I'm like, I'm happy to stay home and just do what I want to do.
Tell yourself jokes.
Yeah, and tell myself jokes in the mirror. I could see myself doing that in the mirror. So that's what I think still fascinates me about you is how good you are at reaching out. Because if not now, again, when? So many people are sitting home and waiting for somebody to call, and she's that person. She will always be the one to reach out and check in on people and say, hey, thinking about you, checking in on you. How are you doing?
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that you guys find it so easy to compliment each other because you can ask couples those questions and they're almost nervous to answer it. And
really,
the two of you just you didn't have to think about it.
And it's not always like this. I mean, we have our moments.
Yeah.
We argue and, have fights like any other couple, but we move our way out of it.
Yeah.
People have said, are you like this all day long? And I'm like, no. I said, we really are just like everybody else. It's just I'm capturing pieces of our day.
Yeah.
And 90% of our day, I'm not aggravated with my jokes. It's just those pearls of wisdom at times that I throw out at her.
Yeah, let's call it that.
What's the hardest part about turning your real relationship into content?
Actually, one of my favorite comments that Lin makes when I try to make something happen is her phrase is, read the room, Bee, meaning, because if I try to catch her outside or in the 3-season room and she's trying to read or doing whatever, and I walk out, she goes, read the room, just in case I'm ready to start doing something. So the hardest part is for me is that I'm always thinking about, okay, I have to have things in inventory, right? I have to think about, I literally was on a trip, as I think I told you, with my siblings.
Yeah.
Yes, every year, at least the 4 girls get together once a year. And this time it was my brother as well. And I was on a ship for 4 or 5 days. And so I wasn't posting. And I got back and people literally were commenting, are you two okay? Did something happen? We haven't seen you posting. And it's like, oh my gosh, it was like, so they again showed me that they literally look for this every single day. So
yeah.
Hardest part for me is I'm the initiator. I own the remote. So I'm the one trying to catch her off guard at times or do things. And so that's probably the hardest part is she just is waiting in the wings to see what the heck I'm going to do next.
And she never knows when it's coming.
The inventory to keep people laughing.
I pulled a few pranks on her.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Have you seen those videos?
I have.
Yeah.
And
every
so-
now and again, I'll find something on TikTok that I could use on her.
And people say, Lynn, you tell the jokes.
Yeah.
Turn the tables on Bee. And she's like, I'm not the jokester, but she is a friggin' prankster. She is.
Good.
And
Good.
so again, they love and cheer her on.
Love that. How have your ideas of love and success changed since the beginning?
Well, our ideas of love, especially entering this relationship, really showed us for 2 people who have not come from gay families or whatever,
Yeah.
we were able to have like a really open mind and really look at people's relationships and think, wow, like this is wonderful. Because I didn't know anybody gay when I was in school, right? So what was the other half of the question? Here we go.
This is my favorite. See, you're witnessing it live. It shows you how genuine. This is true. This is not made up.
So sorry. What was the other half?
And success.
I think success is what anybody makes success.
I love that you captured. See, it's real. The
Love it.
struggle is real.
It's authentic. It's authentic. You saw it here. Yeah.
We all have different definitions of success. Obviously, we feel that this ministry or whatever we want to call it is very successful. But in life, I really feel that success is who you are as a person, what you contribute to the world, how kind are you. To me, that's success when you can achieve all those things. And it's never about money for me. It's never about notoriety. It's none of that. We're much more humble than that. So that would be my definition.
See,
Do you
for me,
remember the question?
usually I'm the one asking the question, dude. But I'll go all the way back to when we met and realized what was happening and who we were becoming. And I always said why I never got married. And to me, was back in the day to a gentleman, is because I needed to make sure that whoever I went to, I loved that person that I went to bed to every night and woke up with every morning. And I would see things on TV and the movies, and I said, that's what I want. And I thought in love many times with guys, but I loved them, I guess, but wasn't really in love. And then when we met and our relationship blossomed, it was like that's what I felt and saw in the movies. That's what I want. And to this day, 21 years later, I still love going to bed with this person. I still love waking up next to this person. And to me, the success is the fact that all of the trials and tribulations, whether it be children, whether it be illness, whether it be losing parents, whether it be whatever it may be, we are still absolutely in love. And that's still that person that 21 years later, I want to go to bed with that night. I want to wake up to each morning. And that to me is real. That to me is success. That says we've endured many things in our lives and we're still next to each other, supporting each other and laughing with each other because we genuinely are friends. And I think that's a foundation for a relationship is we were best friends first, then fell in love. And so that gives you such a foundation that she's my person.
Yeah.
You know,
and you do laugh a lot.
We do laugh a lot.
It is the best medicine. It really is. What's something that you admire about each other that you probably don't tell each other enough?
Good question. I would have still gone back to your heart, your capacity to give, her capacity to see the best in everybody. That I tend to be, and she will share this, be a little more judgmental.
Here's my answer.
Project things. She'll be like, why are you projecting what's going to happen 3 days from now or what somebody's reaction is going to be? Just let it flow, let it be.
Yeah.
But her heart is such that she always has that ability to forgive, to allow for somebody to, as she always says, and one of her favorite phrases is, doesn't your pencil have an eraser? So if somebody does something and isn't necessarily the right thing that person should have done, she has that openness and that ability to say, wait a second, though, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody, has issues. Use that eraser and start over. I wouldn't be maybe as willing to do that. Right. So I don't know if I tell you that often enough that I just at times am in awe of, wow, she really, she doesn't just talk the talk. She walks the walk about having that capacity to have an open heart and to see the best in everybody, really.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
Very sweet.
Apparently, she doesn't have an answer.
I was waiting. I was staying silent.
I'm just kidding. What I don't tell you often enough that I admire about you. Oh my God, I feel like I tell you all the time.
And you do. We actually do have a nice rapport in general.
Yeah, like even, I don't know, it's really hard for me to find an answer because I feel like I always do that.
Right.
I'm much more vocal about if she does any little thing, I always thank her. And she thanks me too for little things that are done.
We were with friends recently talking about relationships and them saying to each other, we should tell each other more, thank you when you do the little things, or I appreciate this or that. And we looked at each other and without skipping a beat, we both said, but we do that.
Yeah.
We do that on a regular basis. We don't have to think about it. If one of us cooks, the other one cleans, but we say thank you for a great dinner or thank you for picking this up or doing whatever. We really, I think, have that.
Yeah. I admire the fact that she appreciates all the little things.
Yeah.
And I probably don't say that to her enough, that I really do appreciate when she makes that comment or does something, that's a nice gesture. So if I had to have an answer, that would be it.
Yeah. Nice. I love that. I'm going to go into some little Kevjet's Quickfire questions with you.
Ooh.
And trust me,
remember them.
Yeah, go slow.
They're very short questions.
Okay.
Who apologizes first?
Okay. So Bee will always if she feels like she's saying something and she reads me and she says, I'm really sorry. I say, well, don't be sorry yet. I don't know where you're going with that. So she apologizes, I feel like, way too soon because she's apologizing before we get to the crux of the issue. Right. But I would say we probably equally, when we know what the crux is, we will actually apologize to each other. I don't think there's a first or second.
Because if I do something and I have a tone and I'm trying to say something to her, and she'll look at me, she's like, tone. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, you're right. I definitely had a tone there or whatever it might be. So, yeah, I think we are pretty equal with apologizing.
Mm-hmm.
Who's more dramatic?
Yes, that's her. Me.
Oh my God. Yes. 150% more dramatic.
Who cries first at movies?
I cry at commercials, right? I started crying talking to you. It's like my whole family, we used to watch, remember back in the day, Old Yeller, I don't know if you know Old Yeller. Yeah. Everybody had to have their own box of tissues, because I cry at the drop of a hat.
One piece of advice you'd give your 2013 selves?
I would say enjoy the ride. I would just say absolutely absorb every minute of everything we're doing and try to be present and in the moment so you don't forget it.
Yeah.
And I would say do not sweat the small stuff and also be present, to whoever you're with. Make them the most important person in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of all the videos you guys are posting, because those are memories you'll have forever.
Absolutely.
And what's sad is we have so many with our grandchildren telling them jokes or them telling us jokes that are as gut-wrenching, laughing hysterically, but we can't post. Oh, we did back in the day, but can't now because honoring the parents with not having them on social media, and we respect that.
Of course. Yeah.
But so we love capturing those moments and have so many videos, even with the grandchildren.
And those are finding the boundaries between your personal lives and what you are willing to share.
Exactly.
Correct.
Exactly.
So what's your partner's most endearing, annoying habit?
It's endearing. See what I did there?
Tone.
Go ahead. What's endearing, honey?
How you react and try to finish sentences.
Oh, I jump in.
Like I'll start telling her, and this is not with jokes, it's in general. So Lynn, I was talking to blah, blah, blah about this, and she was saying, what is blah, 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 blah? I'm like, relax. Let me tell you. You breathe. Let me finish my sentence because I'm going to tell you what exactly she did. But it's one of those where it makes me laugh all the time because she's just, you react. You're a reactionary
type. Have a reactive.
Personality.
Right. I work on that though. I do work on it.
But it's adorable because it's like almost in my head, so I'm going to start the sentence and tell her the story and then she's going to try to finish it for me. Right.
Okay. It's endearing when we are out with friends or we are somewhere that Bee is, being Bee, and she'll start with some jokes, but then I feel like she's going overboard and I start doing this. And I say, cut it. So because I feel like I'm getting annoyed because it's going too far, give somebody else a chance at the table. And they love it. They don't ever want me to cut her off, but sometimes I feel like it goes just a little bit too much.
Yeah, she loves what I do, but then, like she said, there's a threshold, and that is our signal. I look over, and she's like, and I'm like,
I do it very gingerly,
and then I'm like, let me a little more, just do a little more.
If your relationship had a theme song, what would it be?
What a Wonderful World.
Yeah, that was our wedding song. Was the mix of What a Wonderful World and Over the Rainbow.
Yeah,
was the
or it could be this theme song from Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah, so many people call us Ethel and Lucy, Laverne and Shirley, Bert and Ernie.
No.
Well, what would our theme song be? It would be Thank You for Being a Friend, like the Golden Girls or whatever, right?
Yeah, I love
that.
Yeah, I think that would be a good one. Thank you for being a friend.
Who's the better dancer?
Lynn, she's Italian. She's got the rhythm. She can do salsa. She can do all that good stuff.
Have you met anybody that can shimmy their shoulders?
I can't shimmy.
I can't shimmy.
My butt moves. I try shimmy my shoulders and my lower part of my body moves. Explain me that, Lucy.
Yeah.
Right? But she is the best answer. Yes.
Oh, good
Very
answer.
good.
Who's the better secret keeper?
I can keep secrets.
Yeah, you're probably better than
Yeah.
I am. Yeah, Bee is better at keeping the secret than I am.
Because she just shares.
Be careful.
She can't hold. It's one of those where
It's hard.
I
get excited about things, and it's really hard for me to hold back.
Sure.
Things.
I believe it. That's what I'm like. If you could relive one day from the past together, what specific day would that be?
Our first kiss. First kiss.
Absolutely. And I do relive that. Like every
Yeah.
time back in the day when people would ask us, how'd you get together? What happened? I literally, that's the one that just
Very memorable.
still is so vibrant in my memory. Absolutely.
And sometimes we reenact it, and it just brings back all those feelings we
Sure.
had all the years ago. You know,
Yes.
it's special.
That is beautiful. I love that answer. And you didn't even skip a beat. That answer just came
Yeah.
right out.
I didn't forget the question.
This sentence, I'll speak slowly, okay? After 21 years, love still feels like.
It's new. Like it's as if we were together a year ago.
Love still feels like butterflies in my stomach. Really, butterflies.
I always told her back in the day, every time you walk into a room and you make eye contact with that person and you just feel something, that still exists. And I'm not convinced everybody can say that about
agree.
their spouses. I love when we're in a group setting and we're talking to different people and you look across the room and just almost beam knowing that's your person.
Yeah, that's special.
I love that. And I loved our conversation. And this was such a feel good conversation as I expected it to be. But I love that we're getting to know the two of you in a different light. And I hope that you keep sharing your laughter and your love for years and years and years to come. And I'm going to keep telling the story about these two beautiful ladies. The listeners out there are going to fall in love with you if they haven't already.
Well, we appreciate the time with you too, because it's one of those where everybody asks, what's your story? What's going on? How is it? And we do love the fact that we have a ministry, like Lynn said, now that we are providing a little something, we're giving back. We're blessed. And I always respond to everybody who comments and I say, we're blessed and we're just trying to provide a little bit of that back to other people who may not be, and try to provide encouragement and let them know there are persons out there. You just got to be patient because we didn't come together until our late 40s.
Yeah.
And it couldn't have happened any sooner.
Yeah.
It literally could not have happened based on where we were in our lives and what happened. And so it's worth the wait.
And your videos take people out of whatever moment they're in. If it's a bad moment, for a few moments, they're having a great laugh and forgetting about whatever their trials or tribulations are. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And I do the best I can to respond to every comment. And that is like a part-time job.
I've noticed that. I've noticed that you do that. And I love that.
If they take the time to reach out to us, I want to let them know they're seen.
Well, they're being heard.
And they're heard.
Yeah.
And saying, if we gave you a few moments of laughter and relief from your day, then I want to let you know that we appreciate you taking the time to reach out to us.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, I wish you both so much love. And I'm officially your friend from London. Don't forget that.
Yes, you are.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Kevjet. It's been wonderful.
Yes, we appreciate it.
And if you ever find your way over here in London, I'm taking you girls out.
Yeah, we almost got there last April, but then the whole flight got canceled. But it's still on our bucket list.
We were going to spend 70th birthday in London.
Wow.
And we looked you up. Have it all.
Yeah.
Lots of love to you both.
Okay.
Bye.